take qualifications away for two reasons. One, I feel that everybody should have the opportunity. Arnolds is a big thing, and everybody wants to live here. And why should some people be allowed and not others? And then
welcome to the STS podcast. I have the legend himself, Zane Ison. How are you doing, my good man?
Not too bad, thanks. And you, Edgar?
I'm doing good. Listen, I've been wanting to ask. I've been wanting to find out, how did WPC get to come to the Arnolds in the first place? Like, I've been wondering, actually.
Well, you know what, Dave? It's funny that you asked, because we weren't really sure. You know, I've been friends with Wayne for many years, and you know, obviously Wayne is part of he's the Arnold. He puts it together every year in South Africa, and you know, through friends of mine in Richards Bay, they've always said, they put me on their group the 1 year and said to me, just stay on there, things will change. Because to me, the Arnolds is a big thing. There's a lot of people that want to go to Arnolds, and I don't know what happened between obviously the IPF and the Arnold committee. We just got a message, like I said, about 2 months ago, saying they would like to invite us. They finished with, obviously finished with the IPF, and they're looking for something new, and they approached us.
Hey,
and I think it's a great opportunity for powerlifting in general. You know, IPF is great. You know, a lot of people enjoy it. It's nice. Obviously, people have come, they've lifted, they've left. But they need to, I always feel you need to have a wider range of people allowed to come into the Arnolds, and not just one group. You know, I still feel that we could have had the IPF, WPC, RPC, whoever, and just have different sections. But yeah, it wasn't like that. And luckily now they've opened it to us, and it's going to happen.
I mean, I feel like you've done a similar thing now, where you have organized it. So we have the AWF affiliated with, say again?
With the affiliated with the WPC, the AWPC.
Yes, the AGGP, affiliated with WPC. So if you are someone who wants to compete in the drug tested league, you now have the option, which I feel like, I think you're right, for an event like the Arnolds, having it open to as many lifters as possible, I think is especially at the stage of where powerlifting is in the country, where we're still quite niche, we're still quite small. I think the more people who can get exposed to it, the better.
Well, that was my point of view from day one, where they pointed us and said to us, okay, we're interested. That's why we sat down together, and I said, let's take qualifications away for two reasons. One, I feel that everybody should have the opportunity. Arnold is a big thing, and everybody wants to live here. And why should some people be allowed and not others? And then, and also, it's just opens the door for many more lifters. You know, there's youngsters. But it's been my dream to lift at the Arnolds. I've been there to watch the strongman. Obviously, everybody knows I did strongman before in powerlifting. Never ever got the chance to go to the Arnolds. Now I do. And it's just, I think it's just great for younger athletes and even the older guys to be able to lift and get an Arnold's medal, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You want to lift there, show your best, and have that medal to prove that you were there.
There are a couple people who feel like, I have a question here, is don't you feel like taking away the qualifying standards now diminishes the achievement of being at the Arnolds? Like, it makes it less of a prestigious event?
You know what? I don't think so. Okay, I don't want to bring other, but let's put the Arnolds and Elite Raw together, for example. Elite Raw is supposed to be the best of the best in the country, and to me, they tried it. It doesn't work here because obviously people pull out and people get sick, and they bring in people that have not lifted in 3-4 years. So you're not the best in the best. The Arnolds to me is, no matter if you think you're good enough to be at the Arnolds, then be there. If you want to go and you know you're not good enough, but you want to go show off, and you're going to make, excuse my language, an ass of yourself, it's up to you. It's up to anybody, their own individuality, to do what they want to do. And to me, the more lifters you can get, the bigger the stage is, the more people, the better it is for the sport.
I see both sides of the coin myself, which is why which is why I enjoy the fact that we do have these different types of competitions in the country. Like, I love the idea of an elite draw where it's best of the best. There's no prize for second place. Either you win or you didn't. And like that kind of prestigious competition is awesome, and I love it. But I also see the need for, okay, cool. Like, listen, we're a tiny sport. Like as we discussed with Martin last week, there are 1,000, I think it was 1,800 SA powerlifters on open powerlifting. So 1,800 ever in the last 5 decades or whatever it is. That is, you get more high school rugby boys than that. So opening the sport up makes sense to try and just bolster our numbers up in general.
Well, that's very important to me. You know, everybody knows me. I'm in the sport for one reason, and that's for the lifters. The sport has given me so much. It's time for us to give back, and not everybody wants to do that. And I've also, you'll see with the WPC and the AWPC, we've now brought in the DWPC, which we've opened up to the disabled. And to me, giving those people the opportunity to enjoy the sport we do is the best thing that we could have ever done. No one's ever done it before. And why deprive them of being able to, not being able to lift because the guy's in a wheelchair or he's only got one leg? We should be there to help them and let them enjoy what we enjoy. So I think by opening the Arnolds, having all those, we're going to get a lot more people, which will make the sport in South Africa grow. And that's what it's about. It don't matter if it's WPC, RPC, IPF, we want powerlifting in South Africa to grow. And if you want to lift this year with the RPC, next year with the WPC, then so be it. Lift where it suits your pocket, not where it suits your ego.
Completely agree with you. I've always said like I've been in powerlifting, I think 9 years exactly, roughly now in April. And to me, like over the years, I've always felt like powerlifting to me is a hobby in the sense that I don't get paid to do the sport. And besides a pat on the back and my own sense of self-achievement, like the sport besides that isn't giving me anything else. So all this hard stances on which federation you're affiliated to and what type of lifting you're doing, like I've never understood the rationale behind that. I'm like, listen, I'm in the sport because I enjoy the sport. I love participating in the sport. I love seeing other people participate in the sport. I'm not going to get hard pressed on the finer details of where you did your competing. Powerlifting is powerlifting. We squat, we bench, we deadlift, and we all know what that feeling's like.
Exactly, and that's my point of view on it too. But there are certain things that happen that obviously I've been in powerlifting now since 2010, 2011, and obviously came through the ranks of the RPC, and then obviously when all the split up came, not everybody knows what happened. And I'm not going to go into it to tell you what happened because it's there, it happened. We are now, we've got the two federations. Yes, some of us will probably never ever go and lift with the RPC again. And I don't mind if they come and lift with us. I don't mind if the IPF sends their people to us. To me, it's like I said, it's where you lift, where it suits your pocket. And that's why I opened up. If you want to qualify the RPC, you can still come and you qualify, they come and lift at the WPC Nationals if you want. And if our WPC lifters qualify here and want to go and lift with the RPC, so be it. As long as they get to lift, they're doing what they love to do. We're not in this to make money. There's no money in powerlifting. We're not going to make money. We're there to have fun and enjoy ourselves. And that is what powerlifting should be about in this country.
Yeah. And I mean, like, especially this young, like we're still in our infancy. Like the sport could double in the number of people and we would still be fucking tiny. So like right now is the time where explosive growth and as much effort into growth is the best way forward.
Well, if you look at the AWPC, we've started it now. We've got probably roughly 20, 25 lifters, maybe around there that are lifting. When I speak to the people in Great Britain and America, when they have their worlds, in 3 or 4 days, they have 900 athletes, AWP athletes, that will go through there in 3 or 4 days. That is massive. If we can get to that, just with the WPC or the RPC, whoever it is, can get to that amount, the sport is looking good in the country.
Yeah. No, for sure. And with that, I feel like with the more people who enter the sport, the more, like we've seen it now with some of the youngsters coming in, it's this new breed of lifters, this new young generation are doing exceptionally well because they're coming into a sport that's a little bit more established than it was 10 years ago. There are a little bit more athletes available. I feel like that's where South Africa as a performance is going to start shining, because the more people who come into the sport, the more gifted athletes you're going to attract in the first place, and that's good for everyone as a whole.
You know, you look at the Novice Comp, the weekend they had this weekend with Kurt squatting at over 1,000 kilo total. That means we've got 3 lifters in South Africa already that are over 1,000 kilos, and we in the next year or two we're going to have more. And we've got lifters that are youngsters that are doing 950s and 930 kilo totals. That's big. That's huge numbers for a country, like I said, so small. And it's, at the end of the day, it's all about the love for the sport. And, you know, that's one thing that I try and get into all our WPC Exco members' heads, that we're here for the lifters. We have to make the sport good for you guys and for the lifters to enjoy themselves and all get together and have fun and do what we love doing without any politics, without any fighting. Just go there, lift, enjoy yourself, and we go home at the end of the day, and tomorrow's another day and we start all over again. So yeah, you know, if you look at what that's taken us to do with the Arnolds, it's, you know, it's huge putting something like that together. You know, the Trish Armstrong, Jackie Meyer, Rian husband, Quinton, myself and Eunice, Hercules, you know, them, Anton Buckner as a sponsor. You know, it's taken a lot of them days and days of putting this all together. And they're the ones that have made this happen. They're the ones that have sat up at nights. Trisha's the one that sat with Wayne and the Arnold's group, that everything we did had to get approved by them. So we couldn't just go there and say, okay, that's what we're going to do. You know, the shirt, our first lot of shirts were turned down by the Arnolds. We had to design the new ones. The certificates. Everything has to be approved by the Arnold's committee. So it wasn't just taking this and putting it all together and saying, there's the Arnold, let's go and do it. It's been a hell of a lot of hard work and mental work and fighting, and I believe that this Arnold is going to be great this year. It's, you know, the amount of lifters, and what's nice about it is the WPC and RPC, whoever we are, the powerlifting in South Africa at the moment, we bring, when you come, your whole family comes. So IPF, they never really had that. So they never had the spectators that I think we're going to draw. And obviously that's where they make their money from, is out of the spectators. And you know, the more spectators we get, the more people we see, the more people that see the sport, and the more people that want to join the sport. And that's how the way we're going to grow the sport.
Which is very, I feel like now at the small little qualifier I hosted a couple of weeks back, I found like there were 2 people who started training for powerlifting after watching that meet. They were like, this looks amazing. I'm sorry I didn't enter. I now want to start training like this. Can you help me? I was just like and that's how you grow the sport, just through sheer awareness that the sport even exists. Because a lot of people don't even know what powerlifting is, what it's about, what it even looks like.
Yeah, you know, and powerlifting is not an interesting sport. It's a long sport and it gets boring. But we try and make it interesting. You know, our end of our nationals last year at the university, man, if you could be, you were there, seeing those students standing watching. We're getting asked when we're coming back to host another component there, and I'm training youngsters from there already. That also that were actually, it was our spot. They were our spotters and loaders. They're now lifting. So yes, we have to put on a show to bring those guys in, to show them what this is all about. And to me, powerlifting is in your blood, or it isn't. You might come and do one comp and think, when the going gets tough, let's rather pull out. It's the diehards that stay on and carry on and bring in the new blood. But yeah, we need a lot of new blood. If I look at the masters, I think we're more masters in this country than we are anything else. Because it's all the old school guys that are now coming, and luckily now, as you say, the youngsters are coming in now, and there's some big youngsters that are coming forward now.
No, they really are. They really are. There are a couple of them that put me to shame, which is bruising my little sensitive ego a little bit. But
Yeah,
on that, I have a question here from Mac saying, what are your goals and hopes for RPC and SA Powerlifting over the next 5 to 10 years? Like, what's the WPC's overarching plan?
Well, you know what? For me, the WPC over the next 5 years is to get the sport and to grow it as much as we can. To have comps, I look at, if I compare us to the WPC in America, because that's obviously where we get all our stuff from. Every second weekend or every weekend, there's a comp in a different town. So for me, I would like to do the same. Yeah, we must put a lot more comps together. And also, within the next 2 to 3 years already, I'd like to have it that we must have provincials. We must have like Cape Town, PE, all 9 provinces should have a team, should have comps, have a team. They come to nationals, and from that, we choose our South African team to go overseas when they go to compete at Worlds. So to me, that's where I look, where I'd like to see us go, is that East London has a comp and they have a team, PE, all the national, and we get them together and have one big national, invite all of them, and it will be, at the end of the day, it will be province against province. And where we have, like today, we have a trophy for the best team, which we haven't had for a long time. We had it last year. Now have it for the best province. And to me, that's where we should be going. That it becomes that you have a Western Province team and a KZN team, and they must compete against. Then you choose your South African team from that, because then you will have the best of the best. Because we say the top 5 athletes from East London, for example, you have 25 listed, you're only allowed to bring the top 5. Those people are going to fight to be in that top 5 to go to nationals. And that's what we want. Then you'll be pushing each other, the provinces will be pushing, you'll get more lifters in, and our nationals will grow a lot bigger, and you'll get a lot more lifters into the country.
100%. It's very similar to what Martin was describing when I chatted to him last week. And I feel like I love the idea. I just feel like we're not there today. I don't think we have the depth of field to do that today. Eventually, I would love that to be a thing. But like now, it's like if you create that kind of system, you have 30 people at nationals, and it's like, that's a boring feeling nationals,
That's why I said let's open the Arnolds to everybody, because if we really had to we said, yes, you've got to qualify for the Arnolds, or you've got to qualify for nationals. Who goes and sits and says to him, okay, Edgar, you had a bad comp. You didn't qualify. You didn't make a total that you're supposed to. So you can't come to Arnolds. But I know what you can do. So you should be allowed to be there. So rather than let's just open it, let everybody come and let them see what it's about. And instead of having, like you say, 30 lifters, we have 130 lifters. Because that's what we want to do. We don't want to single out people and say, man, you can't come because you didn't qualify. You didn't make a total. It's hard enough as it is to make a total for a big comp, because people are nervous. Novice lifters that come in, they lift for the first time, they've got no idea what's going on. And obviously, because the Arnolds was brought closer, a lot of our comps were cancelled because there was just not enough time. Yes. So do we just cut off and say to them, sorry, you never qualified, we can't have you? So the waiving of the nationals of qualifiers was only for this year, because everything was next year. Whenever they decide nationals is, we'll know you'll have all these comps, then you have to qualify. Yeah. But for this year, we just did that because people just didn't have time to qualify. I know athletes that are working that can't get to a comp, but they're top women athletes in the country. So we do not say to them, sorry, man, we can't have you here because you haven't qualified. I'm sorry. To me, it doesn't work like that. We want them there because it attracts the people. It shows ladies and men what they can do and what they can't do. So let's have them there and all together, and let's just have fun and see how the Arnolds goes.
Yeah. I also speculate, and you might be able to talk a little bit more specific on this, but I also speculate that with nationals being shifted to the Arnolds, there's also the expectation from the Arnold side that, listen, we can't invite you, and the only value add you brought was 30 competitors and 30 spectators. Then like, what's our worthwhile for you guys being there? So opening it up does make it seem successful especially in the eyes of the Arnolds committee, and that's when you secure this type of relationship moving forward.
Well, for sure, they gave us 3 days, the 19th, 20th, and we had to make use of all 3 days. Otherwise, we had to pay, because we had to pay for those 3 days. So it's costing us a lot of money. So what we've done is on the first day, the 19th, obviously our 2 lifting days will be the Saturday and the Sunday. So on the first day, the 19th, we brought in a Novice Comp for first timers. We'll have a test and trial area for people that want to try. And obviously, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've taken over the strict on-call. I've now brought the strict on-call into it as well, which at a later stage, I would like it to be part of the WPC. And at comps, don't only do powerlifting, have a strict on-call as well, because that is also, strict on-call is also a very big thing amongst athletes, especially the men with egos and whoever you are in a gym. So let them come and have their due at the Arnolds or at a comp. And it tracks, they'll come and see that and think, hey, but you know what, let's try the powerlifting side of it too. So you're bringing more people over. So we've had to put things together to last 3 full days. So and I think with the Novice Comp, I think it's going to be quite nice for people that have never done the sport to come and see. You don't have to come and tell everybody, okay, you have to buy a singlet or you have to buy knee wraps or you have to buy this. Come and lift in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. Just come and see what it's all about, and then decide from there if you want to carry on.
I actually have an athlete doing the Novice Comp because for that exact reason. Once I found out there was a Novice Comp, I'm like, okay, because we've been looking for a meet to be his first meet, and I was like, well, I'm going to be there. A, so that's a plus. B, no pressure. It's a Novice Comp. You're meant to be a newbie and make all the mistakes a newbie's going to make, but it's at an Arnold, so you still get the vibe of like what a higher level comp does feel like. So for those exact reasons why I push my athlete to do that. So I do see the value in what you're trying to create here.
Yeah, we want to try and make the sport as big as it can be, and and you're never going to make everybody happy. There's always going to be somebody that's going to moan or something, but yet let's try and do what we can, do our best, and let's just have fun and enjoy what we love. This powerlifting is in our blood. And if you can't do this, what else are we going to do? So we may as well just enjoy this, let the people enjoy it, and lift and have fun. And make it a memorable occasion. The Arnold's is memorable. It's not, maybe next year we don't have it again. At least the one year you can then say, I lifted at the Arnold's. And I think he's going to be there. I think Arnold's going to be there. And you can turn around and say, well, I lifted in front of Arnold. He came and shook your hand, because that's the type of man he is. So, and it's true. We have to put a spectacular event together for that same reason. If you look at how Wayne and them put the bodybuilding together, that's a world-class event. We've had to do the same. There's over, I think, 80 different events going on in those 3 days. So obviously we want to stand out. So we have to make sure that this is an event that everybody's going to wow about and is going to attract more people to come and lift.
On a slight tangent, change of topic, I have Brandon here asking, will there ever be a WPC version of an Elite Raw in future?
We haven't really spoken about or something like that. What we are wanting to do is, I don't know if you remember, there used to be a comp in South Africa where it was called the Tri-Nations.
Yes. Where
you had South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. We now wanting to do it with maybe 4 countries. We were going to do it towards the end of last year, but obviously with COVID and everything that was going on and lockdowns, it just didn't pan out. But to me, if you've got an Elite Draw, the WPC doesn't need to do that, because Elite Draw is obviously not affiliated to any federation. It's Elite Draw is an elite, so everybody is there. So I would like to have us compete against the Americans, Great Britain, Australia. So make it 4 or 5 countries, not just 3, and make that an annual event at the end of every year or whenever it is, after all everybody's had their nationals, and put that together and let the lifters come and enjoy lifting against other countries, all on the same day, but in their own country. So, you know, to me, that's the way forward for us.
So just to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, is what you would have is each country would host a competition in their own country, but with a combined scoreboard, and then you see who in which country had the biggest total.
Who comes first, second, third, or whatever it is. Yeah. And you know, what's nice, I think what's also nice with us, with Arnolds now this year too, is it's obviously, as you know, it's a sanctioned event, meaning that people can break world records. Now, where can you go and break a world record in your own country without having to pay hundreds of thousands of rand to go and compete over at Worlds? Not everybody can afford it. Now, going back to opening it up to everybody, we might have an athlete that couldn't qualify that comes in and smashes world records. And to not have had him there, it would have been a shame. So there we have it already. We're attracting the people to come and do what they can to break world records. And yes, obviously, we all have problems with judging, and you know, a lifter's never happy. He'll always complain or find something to complain about. But we have to make it fair to everybody. And you know, this year, speaking about judges, we're going to be harsh. We've got to make it a world-class event. So the judging has to be strict. But when I'm saying strict, it means if you think he's in, the benefit of the doubt must go to the lifter, not to the judge.
Yes.
And give the benefit of the doubt to that lifter. And there's certain refs that do it, and there's certain refs that don't do it. So we've got to get to the refs. So we'll have a meeting with all of them and get them all on the same page. That we can't have fingers pointed at us and say, oh, but that I've got a world record and he was only hitting 90 degrees, he wasn't low enough. So, and we don't have the technology behind us to say we can go back to camera and put on a big screen. And believe me, I know there is talks of it happening. There is talks of it happening, especially in the WPC. There are talks that they want to bring in things like that. And it's like at the Olympics with the clean and jerk and the snatch. Only the athlete and his coach can go and complain about it. Nobody else. So if you think you were cheated, you go to the judges. They sit and read. But without, you know, that's something they're looking at. It's going to take time to implement it because our sport is so long. It's not just 3 lifts for each person. We're talking 9 lifts for each person, and we've got 150 lifters. So it's going to take time. So yeah, that is a way that they're looking at it to make it fair to everybody. But to me, we just got to, especially us as lifters, have to get there and realize that all our judges and our lifters are human beings. They make mistakes. To go and sit at a comp and start bitching and moaning and fighting with everybody and making a big scene, it doesn't happen. To me, that is unsportsmanlike, and it should be left behind. If the judges say you failed, take it like a man and failed. Man, I know what it's like. I failed a 355 squat at Worlds. The video showed I was in. One judge, the judges failed me. Afterwards, they came to apologize. It's done. You don't complain. Move on. Just take it on the shoulder, take it as a lesson, move on and go to it. But, you know, we need to get all our lifters on that wavelength, on that page. And, you know, this year at Arnold's, it's going to be hard. If the athletes are going to come and shout from the sideline if they miss a lift, we are going to ask them to leave, because we cannot have disruption at the Arnold's. You take it like a man, take it on the shoulder, and just put it behind you, go and do your next lift. Finish that clock. At the end of the day, our referees.
I've never personally understood that. I've had, like, if you've been in the sport long enough, you've had decisions go against you. You feel like shouldn't have. Happens to all of us at some point. But I've never seen someone get a lift because they complained about it. I've never seen that happen.
No.
So I'm I don't understand the point of making that much of a fuss about it. Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But you get some, you know. And I'm not going hard, but 2 years ago at Nationals, I was busy lifting. I was waiting to go and deadlift, and the lifter comes to me and he's complaining because he got failed with his deadlift. I'm busy lifting. What must I do? You know, those are the type of things. Forget about it. You got failed. So what if they failed you? Get over it. Go and do the next lift and prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Prove them that they shouldn't have failed you. That's how I see it. Yeah. Not to go and sit there and moan and say, go and fight with everybody and walk away there, and on social media, go and tell everybody, oh, they cheated you because you failed, they failed your lift. And post a video where, if you look at it carefully, they failed because you either double bounced off the floor or you didn't lock out, but they don't see things like that. So, just take it like a man, take it on the shoulder, turn the other cheek, and go carry on lifting.
Because I've also felt like again, there've been lifts, there have been lifts that have not gone my way, I think should have. But I'm very reluctant to ever blame a ref, because I feel like that takes power away from me. It's almost like no matter what I do, I'm powerless to ever change this in future. Whereas I like the view rather that if I had made that 100% clean, no ref would have failed it. So it's my fault for not making it 100% precise.
100%.
Let me go practice and make sure the next one's 100% precise.
That's it. They will always blame a referee and never blame themselves. And I agree with you. You must make sure that your lift is 100% there, that there's no doubt for error. And if there is, it's your fault, not the referee's fault. He saw something that you didn't see, and that's why he's failed you. So, our referees, it's not just us. Everywhere, I've seen it over in the world, wherever we've been, the referees always get the short end of the stick. Because
it's human nature. It's human nature, but
they're human. Yeah. So
I've absolutely loved. No, go.
No, I'm saying, so yes, we need to make sure that everybody gets on the same page. And like I said, just go and enjoy the Arnolds, or go enjoy nationals, or whatever comp you're going to do from here on out. Just go there and do it because you love the sport and you want to enjoy doing what you're doing. Not to go there and, I'm one to believe that ego should be left outside, not on the platform.
100%.
And I'm sorry, there are lifters that can't do that. But they're the ones that learn the hard way. But egos don't belong on a platform. They belong outside the gym. And to me, that's if we can get everybody to think like that, man, we going forward where we want to be.
It's hard though, man. I feel like powerlifting is inherently an ego sport. I mean, there's lots of testosterone, there's lots of emotions. Sometimes it's hard to separate your own emotions from the thing.
But if you miss a lift, for example, and you should have got it, sit down and think about where you went wrong. Don't go and bang your head against the wall and shout at everybody. That's not going to change anything. Rather keep it to yourself, go and sit, calm yourself down, think about it, and then go and execute the next one better. So you might go and fight with the referees, or stand outside and bang your head against the wall, or do whatever some of them do. It's not changing anything. You're just going to hurt yourself at the end of the day. So rather just, before you get emotional, I know it's hard to not, especially when you think you got it, but you've got to calm down, think about it, and then go and execute.
Yeah,
that's how powerlifting is. Otherwise, you get hurt.
Otherwise, and that's very true. That's very true. But listen, I am absolutely looking forward to Arnold's. I think it's going to be one of the best comps of the year. Super, super, super excited to be lifting at it. Haven't competed in a while too, so I'm like, I got that itch.
Yeah, no, you and me both. You and me both. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I think Arnold's is going to be very nice. Like I said, Trish and her gang, they worked really hard to put this together, and I can't express enough how hard they've worked. And everybody sees Arnold. They don't see what goes on behind the scenes, and that is where the work gets done. And I take my hats off to those people, because I'm one of them. I've had a fight with them. A meeting we had the other one night, I was ready to walk out, because not everybody sees everything the way you want them to see it. And I'm to blame. I obviously got emotional and got upset and wanted to throw my toys out the cot and walked out. But you can't do that, because we're there for the lifters. They are there to make us have a comp together that you guys and us guys as lifters and spectators can enjoy. So it's no use trying to throw our toys out the quad and go fight with everybody. Let's just sit down, have another meeting, level heads, and discuss everything further, and then it goes smooth again. So they've really had a hard time from everybody, even from me. And I apologize to all of them for doing it. But we've got to go forward, and they've done a hell of a job organizing this. It's going to be great.
No, I have full faith. Like, I've always said, WPC hosts some really good meets, so I'm really looking forward to seeing all the hard work that's been put into it. So thank you for organizing this opportunity for us what's the political way to say this? For those of us who enjoy a little bit of hormones now chicken, thank you for organizing this.
Yeah. And for the others,
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be an awesome event. And thanks for coming on to the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was nice being here, man. Thanks a lot, man. Cheers, eh?
Yeah.
Bye.
Everyone tuning in, check in the next one.
Cheers, man.